Hello, everybody. I hope so much that you are well. I certainly missed seeing you guys yesterday. That was a first for no one to show up to a live class. Of course, you are the smallest class that I have, just 4 of you, but still. So I trust that you're all well. Max had told me that he was in Montana and probably wouldn't have service. I think that's what you said. Anyway, that you wouldn't be there, but the rest of you just missed seeing you. So I hope so much that you are well. You are guys are in my thoughts and prayers every day, and I hope you guys are hanging in there. I know that this is a really challenging time, and we just want you to be as successful as you can and to have the best possible end to the school year as we can manage under these circumstances. So please let me know if there's anything I can pray for you. So obviously, because we missed the class yesterday, it was kind of thrown off the way that we're going to work out the rest of the week. So I'm going to just shift everything down a day. So what we'd have done what we'd have done on Wednesday for the class, I assigned Thursday. Sorry, now it's Friday. And we'll push forward the Friday's exercise to Monday. Boy, it's confusing. Anyway, hopefully it'll be obvious from what I post on Google Classroom. I'm going to pray for us, and then we're going to read this last story of chapter 27, stage 27. Heavenly Father, thank you so much that you are a good and gracious and mighty and awesome God, and that in the midst of an uncertain and unsettling and anxiety-producing time, that you are good and faithful, and that you have just constantly amaze us with your gracious bringing about of good things from challenging and difficult circumstances. And I pray that each of these students would see you at work. They would know that you are in control, bringing good out of difficult situations every day. And I pray for their confidence in you as we look forward to more uncertainty. We don't really know what the next few weeks and months are going to bring. So I just pray that we would cling on to you and know that you are both powerful and good, and you have the very best for us ahead. So just pray that we would trust you. In Jesus' name, amen. That was a prayer for me, actually, as much as you guys. I need to trust God too. We all do. And from the sublime, trusting in God, to the ridiculous, which is Modestus. And the last story in this chapter, Modestus promotus, Modestus promoted. Several days ago, we left Modestus under the barn, thinking that he was going to have a party with his friends, and actually being confronted by the British, who had come in to set the barns on fire in the army camp. So a recipe for disaster, obviously hilarity and stupidity and ridiculousness. So we're just going to read this crazy story, and then you can answer some questions about it in the Google form. So, workabrix cum modestus effugere temptaret, suis imperavit ut eum comprehenderent. So our subject is workabrix. You can see that right there. And the main verb is imperavit, right over here, imperavit. And so workabrix ordered his men, so it's a command. We know that indirect commands take the subjunctive. So workabrix ordered his men to seize them. If you can see that, I'm going to hide that. Okay, ordered his men to seize them. So, seize him. And the him is Modestus. Cum Modestus effugere temptaret. So when Modestus was attempting to flee, workabrix ordered his own men to seize him. The exercise you're going to do, the practicing the language, is going to have different examples of these subjunctive phrases, these times we use the subjunctive. So we use the subjunctive with cum here, meaning when, and then after the indirect command, he ordered his own people to seize him. So here is subjunctive, he was attempting to flee, and here to seize. Unus et Britannis modesto appropriquavit ut delegaret. So one of the British, that's the subject, the one of the British approached Modestus ut delegaret, in order to tie him up. A ligature is something that is tied tight, so in order to tie him up. So this is a purpose clause. Why did the British man approach Modestus? So that he might tie him up. Fax tamen quam tenibat tunicam Modeste forte incendit. The torch, however, which he was holding, set fire, incendit, set fire to the tunic of Modestus by chance or accidentally. So here we have the word incendit, which gives us the word incendiary, something which sets something on fire. And poor Modestus' tunic is set on fire. Ehu ululawet ile adeo me devorant flammai. Alas, he howled. Remember that from last year with the werewolf howling? So alas, he howled, I'm burning. The flames are devouring me. So he is not happy, not surprisingly. Tum emanibus Britannorum elapsus fugit praecaps. He fled headlong, having escaped. Elapsus, there's the perfect active participle, having escaped e manibus, from the hands of the British. So he escaped headlong, so he just like booked it out of there. Simulac per editum erupit strithioni amicisque accurrit. So Simulac, as soon as he burst through the opening, the entrance, occurrit, here's the main verb, he ran into Strithio and his friends. So there he is, coming out from under the barn, escaping the British, and then running into Strithio. And forum vini e menibus auli erupit et vinum in tunicum fudit. So he like grabbed, like ripped out of the hands of Aulus the amphora of wine, and fudit, poured the wine in tunicum. Not what his friends were expecting, I'm sure. Insanit Modestus, clamavet Strithio attanatus. I'm not even going to translate that because I know you can figure that out. Modestus tamen Strithionis clamorum negligens amphorum in aditum impulit. So Modestus has just poured an amphora of wine over his tunic to put out the fire. However, Modestus negligens, ignoring or neglectful of the shouts of Strithio, impulit, shoved into the opening, aditum, amphora, the amphora. So remember, he's just come out of the opening under the barn, and now that he has emptied the amphora onto himself, he takes that amphora and he shoves it into the opening. Tum and amphorum inixus magnos clamoris sustulit. So this word inixus, actually this is really interesting because, excuse me for hiccups, this word inixus was just in an Ovid poem that I was reading with Latin 3 today. Inixus meaning leaning. So leaning on the amphora, he raised magnos clamores, great shouts. In other words, he shouted really loudly. Subvenite, subvenite, Britannos cepi. So help, help, I have captured the British. So subvenite literally means come under. That's a really nice kind of way of expressing this idea of needing help. Come under, come under. I have captured the British. Statum manus militum Valerio ducta ad horia contendit. So immediately a band of soldiers, ducta, having been led by Valerius, remember he's the centurion, ad horia contendit, hurried to the barn. So manus means hand, but in this case, a hand of soldiers means like a handful of soldiers, a band of soldiers, a small group. Tanti erant clamores modesti ut tota castra complerent. The shouts, here are the subject, the shouts of Modestus were so great that they filled the whole camp. This is what we call a result clause. You worked on those earlier this week. Or if you haven't yet, you're going to. No, I think you have. Okay, so the result. What is the result? The shouts of Modestus so great that they filled the whole camp. Praefectus Crastrorum ipse accurrit ut causum strepitus cognosceret. The prefect of the camp himself ran up ut in order to, or so that, or just to find out, agnosceret in perfect subjunctive, the cause of the racket, the cause of the noise. So this is again a purpose clause. The prefect ran up, accurrit. Why did he run up? Ut, in order to find out the cause of the noise. Modestus exultans insidious Britannis paravi inquit. So here's a present participle rejoicing or exulting. Modestus said, I have prepared a trap for the British. Stretching the truth a little bit of revisionist history there, but the impact, the effect is the same. Worcabrix ipse multis cum Britannis sub horio inclusus est. Worcabrix himself has been shut in under the barn, sub horio, under, multis cum Britannis. Brere erat certamen. Certamen is the struggle. I don't know how they're going to have this. It could mean a competition, actually. Let's just start writing. A competition, but here I would say it's a struggle or a fight. The fight was breve. The struggle was breve, brief. Tantus erat numerus militum Romanorum ut Britannos facilis supererant. So the number of Roman soldiers was so great, tantus, that they overcame the British easily. Romani Britannos ex horio extractos et carcerum reduxerant. The Romans led back the British from the barn, extractos. So extractos here is a perfect passive participle, which is describing the British. So the British, having been extracted, dragged out, the Romans led them from the barn ad carcerem. You know what that is. Tum legatus legione ipse modestum accessitum laudavit. Then the legate, the commander of the legion himself, praised Modestus. Modestus is in the accusative, and then there's this participle here, which is also in the accusative. So this participle must be there to describe Modestus. He praised Modestus having been summoned, or we might just more naturally say who had been summoned. Modestus inquit, militem fortiorum quam te numquam antia vidi. So Modeste, direct address there, Modeste, he said, and then the main verb, can you see that right at the end of the sentence? Vidi, I have seen. I have seen numquam, never, antia, never before, militem fortiorem quam te. So I have never before seen a soldier, militem fortiorem, braver, stronger, quam te, than you. Solus decum hostibus insidious paravisti. You have prepared a trap for 10 enemies. Oh, and I missed the word solus. Solus, you alone have prepared a trap, insidious, an ambush, a trap, for decem hostibus, 10 enemies. Nos decet premium tibi dare. It befits us, it's decent for us, we should, we ought. Nos decet means all those things. Decet, like decent. Right? It is decent for us, we ought, we should give to you premium, a gift. Modestus allagato ita laudatus adio gaudibet ut vixe continere posset, pecuniam laetus expectabat. So Modestus, having been praised, laudatus, ita, thus, by the legate, was so happy, rejoiced so much, that he scarcely, vix, was able to contain himself. He's pretty excited by this. Pecuniam laetus expectabat. He was expecting money. And then laetus happily, that describes himself. He happily was expecting money. What, though, is his reward? Carcere te praeficio, inquit legatus. The legate said, I put you in charge of. Kakari. So, not what he expected or wanted. Just goes to show that sometimes responsibility is not the reward we're looking for, although it's good to be responsible. Hope you enjoyed that story, and that's the end of the stories in stage 27. So we're going to next week do a little bit of practicing the language, and then you're going to take the stage 27 quiz. So we made pretty good time then, even losing yesterday. So we're just a day off in that regard. So please, 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 please get in touch with me if you need any help, if I can help you in any way, or if I can pray for you, or just want to say hi. I miss you guys. Okay, take care and God bless you. And I will look forward to seeing you again soon. Okay, take care. Bye-bye.